Hello everyone and welcome to .NET Core Central. Today we are going to dive into how we can use LINQ for a file system operation. LINQ, or as you know, language integrated query, is a fantastic tool for querying data, and it is not just limited to databases or normal in-memory collection. We can leverage LINQ to perform efficient, non-destructive queries on files and directories. This approach allows us to use clean, expressive code that's both powerful and easy to read. So let's start with some practical example that will demonstrate the true power of LINQ in the file system operations. Let's say we need to find all text files on a directory tree and identify the last updated one. And let me show you the directory structure. This is some test file that I created. And here we have the couple of folder. Now, the files are all of the same date time because they were created by a program. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and update one of this file, and I'm going to add some test text. So once I do that, this file, the date will be updated. Now let's go ahead and write the code. So I'm already creating the variable which will get the top level folder. So first what we are going to do is we're going to find the file list. So it's a var file list is equal to new directory info of the start folder, and we'll get all files for all directories. So we said get files where the extension is start.start, so all files, and in all directories. So it will go recursive because this is what it does, include the current directory and all its subdirectory. So we'll do that, and then what we can do is now we can say get all the file from the file list with extension .txt, and then we'll do .order by, and we'll get the order by the file name. So file dot name. So we created a list which is getting all the files with extension txt, and then it is order buying the name of the file. And then we can say var newest file is equal to text file dot order by, and we can do order by descending, and we can do based on the last write time. So we are saying order by descending of all the files we got, order by descending of the last write time, and these are all the methods or properties of the file info object, which is given by system.io namespace and the file info class. So if I do that, it has last write time in UTC, name, target link, and attributes that we want to use, creation time, directory, and there are other operations. These are standard file operations. And then after that, we can do console dot write line, let's say file dot file name, and I'll do this one because there's a possibility of this being null, though we know this is not going to be null because I have the file. And then I also want to do, let's do this. And I can say last write time. So now I'm going to run this application, and here I should see subfolder 1, duplicate 1, and 912 as expected. This file, duplicate 1 at 912. That's the only file we updated the latest. And that's what it is giving. So as you can see, the code itself is very short and very elegantly written due to LINQ. And this is what shows the expressive power of LINQ. Now, LINQ is also very useful for sorting and grouping. I'm going to remove the console.writeLine so that it doesn't spam the output. So now let's look into some group by and sorting example. So what we can do is we can say group files equal to, we can start from the file list, and then we can say dot group by, and we can group by the extension. Not going to do any order by yet, and I'll just do two lower. I'm doing two lower because it's better to have case insensitive group by, and then I can do order by, and for the order by I can say group dot count. So I'm ordering it by the count, and then by the key, which is the extension. So now if we do for each, and we'll go to the goof file, print the key, which is the extension and the count, and then we can do again for each, and we can do file in file, and we can just name the files. So it's going to name all the files in each group. So let's run this application, and we can see Excel there is 1, dog there is 2, PDF there are 2, and then there are 7 txt file. We can also find out the size of the file in a directory, and we can do that using standard file extension and for each, but with LINQ it becomes again way more expressive. So let me again get rid of these console.write, and let's find out the total size. So we can say var total size is equal to file list dot, and then we do select, and for select we can say file goes to new file info file dot name dot length of sum. So here we are selecting the sum, and the sum of what? Sum of the length of the file, all the files basically, because we are doing select of all the files, and then we are taking a sum of that. And now we can say total size of all files, and we can print it. It's going to be, the size is 204, and as you can see it's essentially just one line of concise query to find out the size of all files in a directory. Now let me get rid of this, and now let's look into one advanced technique, which is essentially finding duplicate file across directories. And just like any other thing, LINQ can be very useful here. So we can say var duplicates equal to file list, and we can do file list dot group by, and here we are going to group by the file name and length because we want to get proper duplicate. And we can say new name length, so size and name both, and then where the group dot count is greater than 1. Group dot count is greater than 1. So there is more than one file with the same name and same length. And then we can do for each files in duplicate, and then for each again we can do internally. Let's name this as the duplicate is essentially group, because we are creating group. And let's and here also group, and this is nothing but file, and we can say file dot full name. Now for the duplicate file, I'm going to add test to both of them. Let's run, and we can see now, because I had test in duplicate one inside subfolder one, so I added test in this folder, this text also. Now we can see the duplicate file is duplicate1.txt, and it printed both the files out here as expected. As you can see, LINQ transforms complex file system operation into elegant and extremely readable code. In my opinion, it's a very powerful tool that we can use, and we should use it in most of the operation that we can. But although sometimes creating extremely long LINQ queries can be hard to read. So we have to target the balance between when it is really easy to read versus when it gets complex to read and understand. And that's where either we should break the query into multiple lines, or we should just use plain old vanilla for each loop. So that's something to keep in mind. That is all I wanted to cover for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel and you think you are getting value out of this channel, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks so much for watching this video.